Hello and welcome back. I'm David Widmar with Ag Economic Insights Chart of the Week here as we get towards the end of January. And we're thinking about the 2025 acreage debate, and we've launched two new questions in the Ag Forecast Network. What do you think the probability of that March prospective planning estimating more than 94 million acres of corn? And related, what do you think the probability of that March prospective planning report estimating more than 84 million acres of corn for the 2025 planting season? And I want to look through a few of these charts to provide some background and encourage you to make your first forecast and follow along as we navigate this. And one of the things to really keep in mind here is the price ratio heading into 2025 is has been below 2.30 here in the last several weeks. So in February, we're going to start that crop insurance price discovery window, and then that March report comes out at the end of March. So we still have a lot of data that's going to be coming through here. So price ratio has been pretty low through has been falling throughout the fall and into 2025 into January, but it's also historically low. So a year ago we were at 2.48. We're down to 2.3, maybe below 2.3, and so it's going to be one of the lowest price ratios in recent memory. And one of the challenges with this is, this data point, this observation is, well, what does it mean potentially for acreage allocations? And so one of the things that we always keep an eye on is this relationship between the soybean corn price ratio, and that's the horizontal axis, and I've got a black line there denoting 2.3, and it's probably going to be a little bit below 2.3 when we get that final tally there. And then the other element here, the other variable is the share of combined corn and soybean acres that are planted to soybeans. So what you see here is as the ratio gets higher, larger proportion of combined corn and soybean acres makes its way into the soybean crop. Now this relationship is not perfect. You can see there's quite a bit of deviation. There's an observation here where we were somewhere around 2.44, 2.45, and we had about half the crop going to soybeans. But we do see that as we move over, it's more likely to have a 50-50 split in soybeans. Here we were at 2.48 here last year, so you can see a big shift downward. And so the question here is, how does that play out and how does that impact? The other variable here is, so we're sitting at about 46% allocation of the soybean acres, of the combined acres to soybeans. So the next question is, well, how many combined acres are there? And Mother Nature can always impact that. But if we use recent observations, probably somewhere in that 187 million acre starting point. So this article is just and this chart are all going to help you think about this acreage debate. And again, this isn't a end-all be-all model, but it's a way to ground truth our expectations and a way to sort of get a base level thought, and then we can move and deviate from there. I think the other thing to keep in mind here, so then we covered in the article, is how big of an error are some of these departures. We can look at that, and we did in the article. So I encourage you to take a look at that as well. The last point here is there's going to be a lot of forecasts and estimates of acreage over the next several weeks and months. And I think one of the things to keep in mind here is that for most of us, it doesn't make sense to have a point estimate because we're not collecting survey data. We're not a primary data collector or distributor here. So for individuals, it's often helpful to think about this probabilistically like we do in the Ag Forecast Network. And it's helpful to think about this and challenge our thinking and really think about the range of possible outcomes and our confidence in that particular threshold. That's all for this week. Until next time, stay curious.